Hello, my name is Michael Wiley, and I am the Employee Relations Officer for the Northeast Independent School District. Thank you for taking the time to view this presentation on discrimination and harassment in the workplace. It is very important for supervisors to be familiar with and know how to handle these issues if and when they arise. This presentation will provide the basic information that supervisors should know. If at any time you require more detailed information, please contact your Human Resources Office. Contact information will be provided at the end of this video. So let's get started. I want to start with the definition of discrimination and harassment. In the employment and legal context, discrimination is defined as employment actions based on race, religion, sex, national origin, age, disability, or color, instead of being based on bona fide items such as performance, attendance, and skills. And now, military membership or veteran status has been added to these categories. To meet this definition, the actions must be severe or pervasive enough to create a hostile, abusive, or intimidating work environment for a reasonable person. In addition, state laws may further define discrimination to include additional protections. The same behavior that we just discussed may also be harassment. However, the behavior is normally harassment when it is done by a coworker, but it can become discrimination if management fails to take corrective action. In addition, if a person is punished for having complained or taken part in an investigation, this is called retaliation, which is also a violation of the law. Now let's look at a non-legal category. In the workplace, and as used in this presentation, the term harassment refers to the illegal form of discrimination. Employees often say they are being harassed. However, when they are subjected to inappropriate conduct or behavior, which is not illegal but nonetheless unacceptable in the workplace. The term frequently used to describe this type of behavior is conduct workplace bullying. Workplace bullying is repeated mistreatment of one or more employees using humiliation, intimidation, or denigration of performance. Bullying behavior can exist at any level of an organization. Bullies can be superiors, subordinates, co-workers, or colleagues. Examples of workplace bullying include social bannering and teasing, verbal abuse and profanity, humiliation, constant criticism, gossip, personal and professional denigration, overt threats, assignment of unrealistic workloads, aggressive emails or notes, and it may also include professional exclusion or isolation and sabotage of a career or financial status. In the next two slides, you will find examples for discussion opportunities used in identifying whether behavior is inappropriate or illegal. Here's an opportunity to practice what we have learned with a fictitious scenario. A supervisor in the accounting department consistently publicly criticizes his employees and calls them stupid and lazy. Is this illegal harassment or workplace bullying? And explain your answer. If you said workplace bullying, you would be correct. Referring to an employee as stupid or lazy is certainly inappropriate. However, the lack of intelligence or complacency as evidenced in these comments are not protected categories under employment law, but such comments are unreasonably interfere with an employee's work are considered bullying and inappropriate in any workplace. This situation would be deemed creating an intimidating, hostile, or offensive environment. Now another example. The same accounting supervisor refers to one of his employees as an old gal who is over the hill and has problems using the computer because of her age. Is this illegal harassment or workplace bullying? And explain your answer. If you said illegal harassment, you would be correct. Referring to an employee's age and lack of ability due to age is illegal harassment. Age discrimination is a violation of Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Unwelcome verbal or physical conduct based on a person's race, color, religion, sex, gender, national origin, age, or disability is unlawful. So why is this information important in the workplace? Harassment harms us all. The most important part of our school district values is that all employees are treated with respect and dignity. Engaging in, condoning, or not reporting any type of harassment is in direct conflict with our values. In addition to not being in concert with our core values, it is the law, compliance with Title VII of the Civil Rights Act, which prohibits this form of discrimination. But it is not only the Civil Rights Act. There are other state laws and fair employment laws that mandate compliance. So liability for the employer may fall under federal law, state law, or civil litigation. A school district is always responsible for harassment by a supervisor that results in tangible employment actions such as hiring, firing, promotion, demotion, change in pay of benefits, or work duties. The information we've covered is routinely addresses sexual harassment or age discrimination, but let's look at some other areas than sexual harassment. Race and color is the first category of protected status. Ethnic slurs or jokes, offensive or derogatory comments, or other verbal or physical conduct based on an employee's race or color constitutes harassment if that conduct creates an intimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment and prohibits an employee from performing his or her job. A second protected area is religion. Harassment based on religion occurs when an employee is antagonized or ridiculed because of his or her religious beliefs. Another type of religious harassment occurs when a coworker or supervisor preaches or prophesizes to an employee and the employee perceives the behavior to be unwanted and offensive, amounting to a hostile work environment. To avoid claims of religious harassment, employees must also reasonably accommodate an employee's sincerely held religious practices. A third protected category is national origin. Discrimination because of an employee's birthplace, ancestry, culture, or linguistic characteristics common to a specific ethnic group is illegal. Another protected area is disability. The Americans with Disability Act and recent amendments prohibit workplace discrimination on the basis of disability. Under this law, when a disabled worker is consistently subjected to pervasive or severe harassment due to his or her disability that creates a hostile work environment, compensatory damages and punitive damages can be sought against the employer. As I mentioned earlier, there are other rules and laws governing harassment and discrimination. Some of the agency's policies are found in DIA, local and legal, DH, local, DGBA, local, FFH, legal, DAA, legal, and FB, legal. Now let's look at your responsibilities as supervisors and managers. As a supervisor, it is your responsibility to know and comply with our policies and procedures. Any complaints you receive from your employees or any incidents you witness involving other supervisors and employees should be reported to Human Resources immediately. When handling harassment complaints from employees, demonstrate your willingness to hear and objectively discuss complaints. Inform the employee that you must report all complaints to the Executive Director for Human Resources. Often, a complainant will ask you to do nothing, but this is not permissible. Once you know of an alleged occurrence, you must act regardless of how unreliable the source may be. Tell the employee confidentiality will be respected as much as possible, but cannot be ensured in order for there to be a full investigation. It is very important not to object if an employee prefers to or actually does bypass the standard chain of command. Timeliness is important defense. Therefore, respond to any employee's complaint as soon as possible. Do not engage in retaliation against an employee who complains of harassment, and be available to provide as much information during the investigation as possible. Lastly, it would speed up the process if you make the employees available for interviews. Once the investigation has been completed, if disciplinary action has been taken, work with HR Executive Director to make sure that the victim is not adversely affected. It is also vitally important that the supervisor ensures that the harassment stops and does not reoccur. So, in summary, discrimination is conduct or actions based on race, religion, sex, national origin, age, disability, color, or military status when the behavior is severe or pervasive enough to create a hostile, abusive, intimidating work environment for a reasonable person. Inappropriate conduct or behavior which is not illegal but unacceptable in the workplace is called workplace bullying, defined as repeated mistreatment of one or more employees using humiliation, intimidation, or denigration of performance. Your responsibilities: know and comply with our policies and procedures. Immediately report any complaints you receive or incidents you witness to the HR Executive Director. Handle complaints from your employees in accordance with our policies and procedures. Never retaliate against an employee who complains of harassment. Assist in investigation and disciplinary action. Assure that all victims are not adversely affected, and make sure that the harassment stops and does not occur. This concludes the presentation on discrimination and harassment. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact your Human Resources Office, myself, Michael Wiley, the Employee Relations Officer. Thank you very much.